The Pirnaha Rents, located at 5 Mile Line Road in Lowe's Plaza. The applicant is Patrick Young, who is requesting sketch plan review associated with the construction of a 4,600 square foot equipment rental store featuring a 41,700 square foot gavel storage yard enclosed by a chain link security fence on a 7.94 acre lot located in a high intensity commercial district under section 269.5 and 350-19 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Gentlemen.
All right, my name is Rafael Barreto, Marathon Engineering. I'm here with Patrick Young, the owner of Pirnaha Rents. So we're here for sketch plan approval for a equipment rental store located on 5 Mile Line Road. It currently does not have an address today. It's been a vacant lot. I guess just to give you a little bit of a background about this property, you'll see the Lowe's that is currently on that road. This was constructed as a larger project with several out parcels. The ponds that you see on the project have been sized initially with the intent of handling any additional stormwater runoff for future projects such as this. We have a couple of design constraints on this project, and I'm just going to kind of go down the list of them in terms of severity. So because of there is a lengthy easement agreement that exists between our parcel and the Lowe's parcel and the other surrounding parcels, and that easement agreement has a lot of dictation on what kind of businesses can be present, and most notably where we're allowed to make curb cuts into the existing private drive that runs through the Lowe's parcel.
I can't hear you well.
I'm gonna have to lean really close to this. All right, hold on. So we're restricted in where we can make driveway cuts to access the site due to that easement agreement. So that's been one of the key factors in where we've decided to put this building and yard, and where we've decided to make our entrances and driveway cuts. The second factor that's gone into this has been just conforming with all the zoning regulations. We are at a corner lot. We are fronting two roads. We are fronted by 5 Mile Line Road and New York 104. And I think that's something worth noting, because while we are technically making a driveway cut onto the private drive that services the Lowe's parcel, our main entrance is going to be considered the shared access drive that connects onto 5 Mile Line Road. And because we are fronting those two roads, we've set back our building so that we don't need any zoning variances. We are conforming with all setbacks. Another key point that came up, and this was a point of note that was very important as we were looking into this project. There is a FEMA floodplain that is running through this site. There is a Class C creek that runs through that wooded area in the center and crosses at the culvert. There's a culvert that crosses 5 Mile Line Road. So because there is a floodplain, if I can just expand on what that means, FEMA, as a government body, essentially performed an extensive study of this area of the creek. I believe the date was around 2008, and determined that in a 100-year storm, an extreme storm event, they can expect water levels along the limits of that creek to reach as high as 400 feet in elevation. Now, if you were to read the FEMA flood maps, which are provided at no cost, Our project, nothing in our project actually touches the visual limits that were found in that study. However, when we went and did a proper survey of the land, we found that there was a small portion of the site which was above that 400-foot limit. And I want to show that if I can. Let's see if I can't see that. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, that little loop there is our 400-foot elevation. And while I think that visually that looks like a large area, that's only a couple of inches below that 400-foot elevation. So because we are filling in the floodplain, we want to perform some compensatory storage in order to, if we're filling in the floodplain, we want to give back an equivalent volume of storage so that in the event of a large storm event, that entire floodplain, that storage area is going to contain the same amount of water in it, and we're not going to have anything overtopping in an unexpected fashion. And that is what that's what we're proposing there. You can see on the northeast existing retention pond where we're proposing to widen, the northwest, that little blue spot. Yep, that's where we're going to be widening the existing detention pond, basically just enough just to get that compensatory storage. And the last large thing of note, before I'll rattle off a couple of the smaller things, is wetlands. So there was a wetland delineation that was performed a few years ago. By Dialux. There are informational wetlands on the site. What that means is that the DEC believes that there is a likelihood of wetlands present that they may take jurisdiction over. We've been in touch with the DEC through a wetland consultant. They're going to be on site doing their evaluation within the next week or so, and I think we should have a result, or at least a proper determination from them. There are no inherent exceptions for man-made ponds for this jurisdictional process, so we have to go through the whole process with the DEC in order for them to decide to take jurisdiction of these ponds or not. These are man-made ponds. It is required of the owner that they take care of these ponds so that they continue to function for the benefit of the Lowe's site and all of the out parcels. And then lastly, just to kind of go through my list. So all of the ponds that are on the site that we are draining runoff to have already been sized with the intent of a comparable project of this size. So we don't need to provide any extra storage. However, we are choosing to provide some green infrastructure to provide some water quality. That would be the bioretention area that you see there, as well as the street trees, which are matching existing trees within the Lowe's parcel. And then, let's see here, just to rattle off some last few things. There's going to be building mounted lighting. Store hours are, Patrick, if you can correct me, I believe it's from 8 to 5. That was. And there's going to be just a trash bin located behind the building. You're not going to see that from the private drive. The 6-foot security fence is going to be screening everything from the other areas. And we have enough parking for what is required for the function of the store. There's about 4 employees, and we get maybe 3 or 4 at a time, maybe. Yeah. So I think that was everything I had on my immediate list. If there are any other questions or concerns that I can respond to, I'd be happy to hear them.
I had a couple questions actually. You're saying a 6-foot security fence, what is the fence? What's the making of the fence?
It's gonna be a chain link fence with vinyl. So it's gonna be opaque.
A regular chain link, not a solid.
That's correct.
Okay. This area, you know, if you were in the industrial zone, I'd say it probably wouldn't be so bad to have something like that. But here you've got, you know, Lowe's and so on, so a little bit different approach. Yeah, there's the fencing there. I wouldn't, personally, I don't know the board, I'm just thinking here out loud now. If it was some sort of a chain link the rest of the way around, but the front, go back, Jack, can you go back to that side? Yeah, there you go. The east side and the part to the south, that little piece there, where people drive in, that should be a solid fence, you know, neat, something to make it look a whole lot better, I think. The back, or the west side, or the
The
north
part that
side.
presents to the private drive.
I'm sorry.
The section of the fence that would present to the private drive when you're entering.
Yes, all that front there, you know, running along the road, and then the south section, east-west piece, that little, all the way to the south over here. Yeah, now that fencing right in there, on the side, that area right there, that's what you'd see when you come in, and that, in my opinion, should be more of a decorative fence of some sort, something more attractive than a chain link. The back and the other side, that's pretty much hidden, I don't think that matters so much.
Okay.
Just my opinion. What are you using for the parking lot? Is that?
I don't know if it's gonna, I would say if we use asphalt or concrete, say rather than concrete because of high volume traffic, with trailers taking it down, also potentially wasting money on asphalt.
That's that whole area there, the whole white area.
No, the white area is gonna be stone.
That'll be that's the gravel storage yard.
What type of equipment are you gonna be renting?
The type of equipment Brown Rents does is we rent compact equipment, nothing large, nothing huge. It's compact equipment, so it's small track loaders.
Can you
Yes,
talk into
use
the
the
microphone?
microphone.
Thank you.
Actually, I can hear you better than what we were here.
I'm sorry. It's so Pirnaha rents skid steers, track loaders, and excavators and attachments to homeowners, contractors. Some of our equipment, talking about the fence, some of our equipment is actually some of our, I guess, representation too. When somebody sees it, they're like, oh, I could use that. I saw that on TV. I want to use that. So our equipment is part of our advertisement with our company. But nothing, when you think of a rental place, it's not huge lifts and obnoxious, massive piece of equipment. We are in the compact world. That's where we want to stay in the compact world. Mm-hmm. We're looking to provide to homeowners and, like I said, contractors.
With equipment back there and vehicles going in and out of there and it's wet, invariably you're gonna have stones and gray matter from the line out onto the runway, onto the roadway. I, quite honestly, personally would prefer to see that thing asphalted in there.
The whole yard?
Yes, as opposed to the gravel.
Okay.
Absolutely. Other than that, I think what you've got is a good thing, but I think there's some things needs to conform more to the commercial area, not industrial, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the big thing is I'm willing to work with the town. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever's works for both of us, obviously, you know, financially for me, but I want to work with the town. Mm-hmm. The big thing that we did do in the situation with Marathon is by making the drive-through, it's kind of a new experience where people load and unload on my own driveway. Mm-hmm. So I'm not disrupting anybody else in that manner. So so any of the matter, like if it was stone in the area, and you did drive a piece of equipment out onto my drive-through, and they loaded, like we have equipment that sweeps the roads, just like a street sweeper. Mm-hmm. But if the town wants me to do something different, I'm more than willing to work with anybody.
I don't know, maybe Dale, I don't know if you know, I don't recall, when this was approved originally, that access road around, that's part of Lowe's property, I believe, isn't it, Josh? Is that the way that was? The parking lot and all?
Yes, it is Lowe's private drive.
It is-
There is
it is
an,
Lowe's?
there is an access easement agreement allowing
Okay, that's,
use of that.
okay, that's good, okay, that's what I was wondering, how.
Yeah,
what you
that
do
is,
with
that is baked into the entire,
Okay.
all the out parcels.
Good, okay. All right, anybody have any questions? Just a couple issues that I had there.
Well, just following up with that, if you were to pave that whole thing, it changes the impervious area.
No, we count the gravel yard as impervious.
Yeah, okay. And the only other just kind of observation is on the north side where the one car is parked right up against the gate, you'd probably want to have some area for the car to turn around and back out.
Yeah, we are, I think we have one over the required minimum, so we could always just stripe that last spot out.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I just have a couple questions here real quick. I know it's only a sketch plan, so maybe somebody's gonna be incorporated. There was a set of drawings that indicated the building footprint, ingress, egress doors, wall packs, lighting, that don't match up with the sketch plan. If you wouldn't mind just making sure that the building footprint that's being used is reflective in the site plan drawings, including the lighting plan, where the actual wall packs are going to be. The actual roof structure of the facility, is that being surface discharged, sheet flowed to the bioretention areas, or is it piped?
I am planning on it being piped. I believe that's correct. Yeah, it'll be tied into the storm sewer and go to the bioretention.
Okay. The gates that you're showing, are they manual, automatic?
I personally would like to go automatic.
Could you talk into the mic, please?
Into the mic, just so that people at home can also hear. Sorry.
I would choose to do automatic for my gates, absolutely.
Okay. Just because of electrical drawings just indicate the route where you're looking to do it and which way they're going to open and close for fire access as well. Primarily vehicles coming into your yard, is it going to be trailers, tractor trailers to unload? Are you unloading in the yard or in the front and then taking the equipment in, or?
The only equipment that will be loaded and unloaded in the yard is my personal drivers with their trucks and trailers. Other than that, customers will not be in the yard. Customers will be on the access, I call it the drive-through.
Okay, so that's what, the intention is really for the patrons to kind of load the equipment on at that point.
Yeah, the typical, I guess if it was to try to infuse what's going on, is you would pull up with your truck and trailer, someone would greet you, oh, you're here to get this. That's why there's two gates. There's one at the lower end on the south side of the property and one at the north side. So that one person pulls up, the person would greet them, yep, no problem, they'd get their piece of equipment out and then they could load it onto their trailer. And in the meantime, if there was another person that pulled up, he could be loaded also at the same time, so it didn't cause any confusion on the drive-through there.
Okay. Just because you have a single form of access there, just consider some signage, one way or something in the wintertime, so people know which way they're supposed to be going.
Absolutely.
Visually would be helpful. Again, if you're in a 100-year flood zone, I understand that you're kind of regrading it to get yourself a little bit out of it, but the bioretention component is still indicated in that flood zone. Have you done geotech with water levels? Are you keeping the clearance for the bioretention off of the water table?
Yes, we are up above the water table.
Okay. And then I think the last comment that I said was I saw the yard, it's a large area of yard, and you're going to sheet flow towards that 100-year flood zone in the back. You only, it's an 8-inch pipe, but it's a big yard too. I was wondering if the 8-inch pipe, has been sized for that volume of water, especially in a flood zone area, in case that does get flooded, to make sure that you're not really sheet flowing anything coming off the equipment into now this flood zone area, environmental area.
I don't have the sizing calcs on me at the moment, but I can certainly provide those to you.
Okay. Not me, engineering department,
Yeah.
probably, but yeah. That's all I had.
Okay, anybody else, anything? Again, this is just sketch plan right now, just basically a layout of what
Yep.
you're proposing. I'm sure your preliminary would have all your details and so on.
Oh, sorry, one last question, just overall signage for the facility, are you gonna be adding to the signage that's out in 5 Mile line saying where your business is?
I
or-
believe that is correct. We're gonna be adding a plate to the existing signage. Are
Okay.
you?
Yeah, I would like to add to the sign out that Lowe's is already currently using, that one. And then I do have drawings for the building. I guess it's the building that would be facing east. At that point, up in the peak, I would put a nice sign up there.
Yep.
And that's what, I think would be sufficient enough for it. Like I said, our equipment is kind of our advertising too.
Sounds good.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, right now is just looking what you're proposing to build here, and then we'll get into all the details. Okay, I guess that's it. Jim, I know you're here. Just a sketch plan, is there anything you wanted to say, or you're just going to visit?
Are you gonna open it up to the public?
Well, it's not, because it's not, but if, I know you're there, you live right across the street, if you want it, we'll absolutely let you.
Yeah, I would like to say.
Sure, go ahead.
My name is Jim Kunz. I live across the street from Lowe's on 5 Mile Line Road. I certainly would love to see this business come in. I think that it's a very desirable type of thing to have for Webster. I have absolutely no objection. As a matter of fact, I would love to see it happen. However, that being said, as I talked with you, Tony, some time ago, and hopefully with Josh, Lowe's has created, when it was built, a severe water problem for my property across the street. The other properties of Lowe's doesn't have to worry about more projects coming. I see I don't know whether it was Dinks and Links or whatever, and they had, I'm not sure the acreage, whether it was 10 acres, and this is 9 acres. And when you say you'd like to see it in asphalt, well, right now, we have a situation where Lowe's has been closed over the last 20 years, 5 times, where the flood came across, connected both ponds, and 5 Mile Line Road was inaccessible. 6 inches of water came across the street and took out one of my sheds. So if Lowe's couldn't handle the situation that it has, it was closed and it came across the road in the year 2000. I have pictures of it. Again, I don't want to put it all on these gentlemen to have to do it, but there is a situation there that is, if any kind of development ever happened on my property, the flood doesn't go to Lowe's, it doesn't go east, it doesn't go to 104. It comes across the road and it comes to me. So something needs to be done in order to mitigate the water situation. If you're talking about, and again, I'm welcome to have Dinks and Links. I'm a golfer, I'd love to see it, okay? I have equipment and I could probably use one of their items. But something's got to be done to prevent what's been happening over the last 20 years to me. And I hope it can be done. I hope this board does it. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Okay, I guess with that, we're set. Next step will be coming in with your paperwork for preliminary approvals. All right? Okay, thank you.